Hello everyone, my name is Frederick and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'll be showing you guys how to do an oil change on your car. The purpose of this video is to show you guys the proper way to do an oil change. So by the time you're done watching, you will be able to do an oil change on your very own car. But before we get started, I want to show you guys the tools and products that I will be using throughout this whole video. First, we got the funnels to help us getting the oil into the engine without making any mess. Next, we have these two oil filter removal tools that connects to a 3/8" ratchet. And we're also going to be needing a socket set and as well as a ratchet. Now over here, we have the oil filter wrench. I really like this tool because it helps me remove the oil filter very easily, with the help of its teeth that clamps onto the filter when breaking it loose. So I suggest you guys get one too, because it really does a great job removing the oil filter with no problem. Next, we have a 17" breaker bar to help us break loose the drain plug bolt, and we also can't forget about the torque wrench to tighten the same bolt to spec. Now, here's the oil filter that I will be using today. It is the Fram Tough Guard with part number TG6607. I like this brand because it's cheap, but in my opinion, it's very good, and I have been using Fram ever since I started doing oil change in my cars. And lastly, we have here our engine oil. I got the Mobil 1 full synthetic engine oil, and in my case, Nissan recommends to use 0W20, as you can see here. You can also see here on the box that it is recommended by GM, Honda, Nissan, and Toyota. This is why I really like Mobil 1. This box also contains 12 quarts of oil, and it has a type of faucet where the oil will be coming out. We are also going to be using a creeper for when we are going under the car, and we also need to use an oil catch pan because we don't just want our oil to drip on the floor because engine oil is harmful to us. So, you might ask, which oil is right for your car? To determine which one you should buy, we're going to need to look at our owner's manual. It has all the information we need when doing regular maintenance on our car. Alright, let's go ahead and look at the contents and find maintenance and do it yourself. Then, find the engine oil portion and it'll show us the API that we need, which is 0W20. It will also show us the oil capacity, and in my case, we're going to need about 5 quarts of oil with filter change. When buying engine oil, I like to go to Walmart because they have the cheapest price in my opinion. They have a variety of engine oil with different specifications for most cars in the United States. I also recommend buying full synthetic oil for your cars because it lasts longer and it's better for your engine in the long run. This is the one I chose because it has 12 quarts of oil and has less plastic waste since it comes in a big box. And the best part about it is that it's only $50, which is why I always go for this one. On the other side of the aisle are the oil filters. I chose the Fram Tough Guard, and I made sure that I got the part number right, which is TG6607. They also have a lot of other brands that you can choose from, such as Mobil 1 or K&N. So, how do you determine which oil filter is right for your car? Well, most stores will have this book, and it lists almost all the cars that are manufactured in the United States. It will show here which oil filter you need for your car. So, just find your car's year, make, and model, and find the oil filter category. In my case, I have a 2016 Nissan Quest, and it says part number PH6607 for Fram. Now back to our car, we need to lift up the vehicle to have access to the oil drain pan. And to do that, I have a ramp, a jack, and some jack stands. You can also have jack stands on all 4 sides of your car, but having a ramp makes the job so much easier. So, position the ramp in front of the wheels and make sure that it's dead center. Do the same for the other side and we are ready to drive it up. Don't forget to engage the parking brake, and we can now use the jack and start lifting the rear end. When lifting the car up, make sure to position the jack somewhere solid like this cross member. so that it won't slip while we are jacking the car up. Now, we can place the jack stands on each side. Then, we can start lowering the jack until the car is held up by the jack stands. Let's go ahead and pop the hood. And we can remove the engine oil cap so that the air will help us drain the oil faster once we remove the drain bolt plug from the pan. There you go. And before going underneath the car, make sure that you wear an eye protection to protect your eyes from any falling debris. And as you can see here, this is our engine oil pan, and a little over to the right, we can see our oil filter. So, let's get the oil catch pan underneath, and we're going to be needing a 14mm socket for our drain bolt plug. Make sure that you know your righty-tighty and lefty-loosey so you won't accidentally turn the ratchet to the wrong way. And once the bolt is loose, we can now loosen it by hand. Then, we can remove the bolt slowly so that we won't make any mess. There you go. Once all the oil has been drained, we can now screw the bolt back into the pan. Wipe the remaining oil and continue screwing in the bolt all the way. Then, we can torque the bolt to 30 pound-feet. Next, I will be putting this aluminum foil on this big piece of metal so it can catch all the oil that will drip out of the oil filter. Doing this trick will help us lessen the mess when we take the oil filter out. Now, let's go ahead and get our oil filter wrench and clamp it on the oil filter. Loosen it up. Good. Then, we can loosen it all the way by hand. Now, we can remove the oil filter. Good. As you can see, the aluminum foil is doing a great job catching all the oil, and that's way better than getting oil on other parts of your car. Make sure that you clean the oil filter adapter very good with a blue towel until there's no more oil coming out of it. Then, let's get our new oil filter and make sure that we put a little bit of oil on the gasket before installing it. This is to prevent leaks, and it will be easier to take it off the next time you do an oil change. Now, we can screw it onto the adapter by hand and tighten the oil filter by hand as well. I do this until I can't tighten it anymore, just like that. Next, we need to fill the engine with fresh oil, and in my case, the packing comes with this faucet where the oil will be coming out. And I have this pitcher that I got from Amazon, and I really like it because it has measurements in quarts. So, I will be using this to transfer the oil into the engine. But before that, I will be showing you guys a little trick with the funnel and a blue towel to minimize the mess when pouring the new oil into the engine. So, I'm just gonna poke a hole into the blue towel using the funnel, and there you go. The towel will prevent any oil from getting on the parts of the engine in case we spill some of it. Now, we can start filling the pitcher with the new oil, but I'm only gonna fill it up to about 2.5 quarts so that we won't make any mess when we start pouring it into the engine. So, go ahead and pour the oil into the engine, and make sure that you do this very carefully and that we get all the oil into the engine. Good. Then, we're gonna repeat the same process because we need about 5 quarts of oil for the V6 engine with a filter change. Nice. And once we are done, we can now screw the engine oil cap back. Make sure that you don't forget this step because if you start your car without the cap, oil will start splashing out of your engine and I'm sure you won't have a good day. Now, we can remove the jack stands and lower the rear side of the car. Just like that. Start the car and drive it off the ramps. And all there's left to do is to check our engine oil level with this dipstick, and it's usually next to the oil cap. And to do that, just pull the dipstick out, and we need the oil to reach above this line on the left to make sure that we have enough oil in the engine. And as you can see, we are at the line, and now we are done with the oil change. Now, we need to reset the oil light on our dashboard to remind us for our next oil change. And to do that, we're gonna need to start the car. And in my case, I have these two buttons to navigate and reset the oil light. So, you're gonna go to Settings, and go to Maintenance. Then, go to the oil portion, and you can reset it to however much you want. But in my case, I do my oil changes every 7,500 miles interval. And there you go, we are done resetting the oil light. As you can see, I have about 104,000 miles right now, and I will add 7,500 into it. And then, I will be using the sticker printer and put 111,500 miles to remind me when my next oil change is gonna be. And once I have it printed, I will remove the old sticker and then put the new sticker onto the windshield. And we also can't forget to recycle our old oil and filter because we don't want to cause any pollution, and oil is harmful to us humans and to animals as well. So, to recycle the filter, just put the old filter into the box, and that's good to go. Next, I will be using this old container that I found laying around my house to store the old oil so that I could take it to the recycling center. So, go ahead and open it up, get a funnel, and pour the oil into the container. Good. And then remove the funnel and seal it tight so that it won't spill when we go get it recycled. Now that we are done getting the old oil and filter ready to get recycled, we can go and head over to the nearest auto shop. I go to AutoZone because they recycle both old oil and filter with free of any charge. You can also call them to make sure if they recycle oil and filters, and once you get there, just take your oil and filter and they will dump it for you into their oil bin. And there you go! That is how you perform an oil change to your car. The process is very easy and you don't really need any special tools to do this. So I hope you guys learned something from this video, and don't be scared to do your own maintenance on your car, because trust me, it will save you a lot of money and you know that the job is getting done right. Plus, it's fun working on cars. I will make sure to put the links for all the tools and products that I use in this video in the description down below. And I would also appreciate it if you guys give the video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to get updates for more videos like this. And if you guys have any questions, just leave a comment down below. And again, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.